I think China will have to devalue as a response to this pressures. So short-term pressure would be there. The channel of pressure on ASEAN economies and ASEAN countries will be also through China. So I think you cannot really see strong domestic currencies in Asia if Chinese renminbi is going to be weak. So I think from our perspective, I think that China will put pressure at least for the short in a short run on these currencies. But I think later on, when the dollar will weaken from the capital flows from other negative impact, I think that recovery will take place.
Why do you think dollar will weaken?
Why will it weaken?
Why do you think dollar will weaken?
I think we're going into maybe a different dimension from the perspective of capital flows. I think that we see realignment of the U.S. geopolitically, realignment of the U.S. From the trading perspective. So I think that eventually will make U.S. less attractive as a place to invest. Not only from emerging markets, but also from other developed markets. So I think that's overall long run, I think, will play against the dollar, as the dominance of the US dollar now gives its privilege, as we know.
Indeed, and some people call it exorbitant privileges as well as the world's reserve currency. But, you know, it sounds like what you're saying is de-dollarization, which has already begun, will continue. One, are you also saying that Trump's strategy of trying to attract and reshore manufacturing back to the U.S., which would lead to investment, which would lead to pressure up on the dollar and should help its value, that's not going to work?
It obviously will work towards strengthening of the dollar, but the outflows, capital outflows from the U.S. market generally, we believe, will work against it, as allocation to the U.S. probably will have to diminish over the long run. We haven't talked about capital flows yet, but this is another big story. We know that China tried to obscure its holdings of U.S. treasuries and overall investments in the U.S. markets, and I think that probably will have to flow back at some point. And I think also rebalancing of European investments in the U.S. also will help. Not only because of the geopolitical war, but because of the fiscal situation in Europe. We know that Germany no longer wants to pursue fiscal balance, and I think that would mean obviously less capital outflow from European Union into other markets, of course, including the United States market. So I think that these are long-term trends, of course. Short-term, I agree with you, dollar will strengthen, but in a longer run, dollar will have to weaken to rebalance capital flows.
Okay, Sherry?
And I think that point on the capital flows is also quite an interesting one because we're also seeing the previous Trump administration and now this Trump administration is trying to disentangle capital flows into China and generally channel them back into the U.S. So I think that will also have its own repercussions on EM capital flows.